Peace everyone, Unmask Art here, and welcome back to the Drawing Journal. Alright, so today I am just going to play around with some graphite. These are some of my favorite graphite pencils. I haven't used them in well over a year, actually. I pretty much only used them like twice after I bought them. So a few of the pencils that I use, I like the Tombow Mono pencils, and I have a 6B, a 6H, and a 2B. And then I also have a couple other pencils over here. I have the Derwent Onyx Medium. I really like this pencil because no matter how hard you press, you get a very, very consistent like number 7 gray. And I really like that pencil for shading. And then for my really dark, I use the Derwent Ivory Black. And it feels like a mix between graphite and charcoal, but it doesn't have that brush away kind of like dusty charcoal feel to it. So those are the pencils that I like to use, and I don't have anything planned for today. I just thought that I'd take my 2B pencil, start sketching a little bit, and see what I can create. I'm kind of in the mood to draw like a, I don't know, little practice portrait, just play around with some values and play with the pencils a little bit since I haven't used them in forever. Anyways, so hopefully everybody had a nice weekend. I'll be honest, my weekend was fantastic. It was really, really nice. I spent a lot of time with my lovely wife, and we had fun. She made some really, really tasty food this weekend, and it was just nice to spend some time together and enjoy the weather. The Saturday weather was a bit rainy, but overall it wasn't too bad or anything like that. And what else? Sunday I played some more Magic. So if you paid attention the last couple weeks, I've been obsessed with Magic the Gathering. But other than that, not too much going on. Of course, I'm still. I would say that I'm probably behind as far as finishing my Pastel course, but I will get there eventually. I'm still working on the edits for all those videos. The course is like 7 hours long, and to just kind of put into perspective the difficulty and the amount of time that editing this stuff takes. Let's see, how can I put this? Imagine having to watch like all of the Lord of the Ring movies and all of the Hobbit movies over and over and over again from beginning to end. That's basically what takes the longest when it comes to editing such a lengthy tutorial series, because once you do like most of the primary editing, you have to go through and watch everything again just to make sure that everything that you wanted is edited correctly. There's no sound issues. So it's becoming much bigger of a project, a much bigger of a project than I kind of anticipated. I didn't realize how much I was going to have to rewatch all of the stuff that I did when I recorded the tutorial. Though I do have project 1 and project 2 like completely done. And I've probably watched both of those projects beginning to end way more times than I'd ever like to in my entire life. But fortunately, I have some of it done. So that's one good thing. And what else? So I think that overall the tutorials are coming together really nicely. I like because when I recorded them, I had 3 cameras recording at once, which was kind of painful to do because I was operating all 3 of them during the tutorial process. But the way that I edit it, the videos, you would have no idea. You would probably think that I had like 4 or 5 cameras, and you would have no idea that I'm the one changing all the cameras and stuff like that. So as far as the editing and everything like that, it's coming together really, really nicely, and it's definitely going to be a project that I'm going to be significantly proud of completing once it is in fact done. So that's good. And really nothing else is going on. For those of you that followed the Kickstarter was fully funded, and I can't thank enough of you. I can't thank you guys enough, because it was it was just so amazing to have that Kickstarter fully funded. It kind of came down to the wire a little bit, but on the last 24 hours, the rest of it got funded completely, and I was just really, really just happy that it got funded, because if it hadn't got funded, all the people that really wanted the Pastel course, they wouldn't have got it for $10. I would have felt really bad. And so yeah, everything worked out really great, and that's that. So thank you to everybody that helped back the project, or just simply shared the project on Facebook or whatever, because now it's fully funded, and all I have to do is deliver my promise on the Pastel course, which will happen. I decided to do today's live stream a little bit earlier because I was working on some stuff beforehand, and I didn't quite get to a point where I could continue and kind of put off the today's live stream. I just wanted to do, a little live stream today, hang out with some people, say hello, and draw for a little bit. So as you can see, I'm just kind of sketching a portrait a little bit. I'm not really taking this drawing seriously. I'm just just consider it practice, and yeah, just having fun, I guess. But I haven't used graphite in a long time, so I figured I'd just grab a piece of paper and have some fun. And I'm just gonna play around with the shading a bit. Grab my 6B pencil. But other than that, let's see. Hello, Steve. Hello, Israel. Hello, Artista. My weekend was good. Thank you for asking. And I'm glad you like the more natural drawings. Yeah, I don't expect anything to look really good right now. I'm just kind of scribbling a little bit and doing a little sketch. So don't get your hopes up for some kind of like masterpiece right from the beginning. It's gonna take a little bit of time, and I'm just kind of sketching a little bit. Kind of a drawing from my imagination, I guess you could say. Oh, hello, Anne. Good morning to you as well, or afternoon, kind of. It's, good noon. It's 12 now, so. I'm just rambling on about nonsense, just the usual, the usual live stream, rambling nonsense, and sketching a little bit. Just kind of, I don't know, relaxing, I guess you could say. I mean, the weekend was relaxing. I guess I already explained what I did this weekend, so I won't really say much more, I guess. But if you have any questions about anything, feel free to ask me. I didn't really have, like I said, I didn't really have much planned for this live stream. So how is your Kickstarter video editing going? So I think the Kickstarter was totally successful, but the video editing, oh my goodness, I wish I had like 4 assistants. Like it's just so much. Obviously I mentioned before that the goal is to have all of the course complete for the people that backed it on Kickstarter, and send that out before the end of this month. So before the end of June, I promise to have the course completely done, and I'll email it to everybody that supported the Kickstarter and got the $10 pledge or whatever. But I ended up selling 3 of the 5 original pastel drawings, so I'm gonna have those sent out very soon, and all the prints as well. Actually, not too many people bought prints, so that's kind of nice because now I don't have to ship as much stuff out. But I'm also going to send all the people that support me over on Patreon for the collector pledge over on Patreon. I'm going to send them a ton of prints because it takes a really long time for the mail to come from Poland to the United States or to Japan or to Australia, because I have a few patrons from all of those countries. And so I like to just send out a bunch of prints all at once so that I don't have to do it as often, and that makes my life just a tad bit better, a tad bit easier to deal with. Yeah, but so I'm trying to think. The last video that I edited for the pastel course, I think it took me like 6 hours to do a 15-minute video, which the reason it takes so long is because so for the 15-minute video I have footage from 3 cameras, so overall I have 45 minutes for 15-minute video. But the way that I kind of do it is I overlap all the footage onto the timeline, and then I go through and I turn off one camera and I look at which angle I want showing at the same time, and then I kind of pick my cameras throughout the entire 15 minutes. So the very first portion of editing is watching the entire 15-minute video. Now, most of them are over 15 minutes. I think the last one that I edited was 46 minutes. So I had to watch 46 minutes of the footage from beginning to end just to do kind of like selecting the cameras that I wanted to be in the actual video. And then of course after that I do all the color grading, where I fix the colors to try to get it as realistic as possible, so that people that follow along, they have really good reference as to where or what colors I'm putting and stuff like that. One of the cameras that I had set up was just pointing at my collection of pastels. So I watched the entire video, and each time that I reach up to change colors, I switch to the camera that shows exactly what color I'm pulling and what color I'm putting back. So throughout the entire course, you will know exactly what color I'm using when I'm switching, and it's really tedious to go through, watch the entire video, and just go through kind of all of that, color switching. So it just kind of it just goes back and forth with that constantly. And then the only camera that was really a hassle was the camera that I moved around. So I had two stationary cameras that I didn't move throughout the entire recording process, but then I had my other camera that I was moving around. I was changing different angles, and I also show like kind of close-up looks of my hand when I'm doing certain parts and things like that. So it was a lot, but I think it will pay off in the end. I think a lot of people will really enjoy the course, and I think I think it will be a good thing to have on my website, and kind of something that I can continuously sell as I put more and more videos out on YouTube and gain more subscribers, that are interested in pastels. Because seriously, I've had no time really to do any other videos or any other projects while in the process of editing this course, which is kind of it's kind of been getting to me a little bit, because I would like to work and start on other projects, but I just don't have the time right now. I'm so time constrained with the editing and making sure that I hit my deadlines that I'm trying to promise for the course. And so it's just I want to take my time with it, because I want the editing to be perfect. I want it to be very polished, very professional looking. To be honest with you, the inspiration for my editing and my camera setup was based on the old Bob Ross videos, but I think that I did it even a little bit better than the Bob Ross videos, because I show close-ups of the artwork. I show close-ups of how I'm holding the pastel, how I'm moving my hand. I show every time I switch to colors, and really, like, it's about as involved as the camera shooting. If you go back and watch the old Bob Ross videos, you'll see that he actually has camera operators moving the cameras, so you do get to see things a little bit better in his videos. But for one person to do all that, I think I did a fairly decent job of it, and so it will pay off in the end. All of the attention to detail and all the work I put into it, I think it will pay off in the end, because everybody that gets the course and watches it, I'm fairly confident to say that you guys will like the course when you watch it. So yeah, that's about it as far as where I'm at with the course, but it's coming along pretty good. Now for this face here, you can see I'm just kind of to change the subject to what I'm drawing here. You can see that I'm adding some values, and I'm just establishing my light on the face, and that's kind of, I'm just scribbling a little bit. I don't have any details really marked off. but you can see the face is starting to come out a little bit. Anyways, okay, so question, foam board. So, Steve, if you look through my video category or categories on my channel here, you can find a video that's titled how to store how to store and protect your pastel paintings, and I show you foam board in that video, but it's exactly what it sounds like. It's kind of a stiff board, roughly a centimeter thick or so, and it has like a smooth paper glued to it, and the foam is in the middle, and it's really rigid, and you kind of sandwich your pastel paintings in the foam board just to protect it a bit. You're welcome, Crystal. I look forward to getting the pastel course out to you so that you can enjoy it. Thank you, Anne. I think that what I like most about all the people that come over and hang out on my channel, and just all of the subscribers that continuously comment on my videos and ask me questions during the live streams, I just feel like I have the best subscriber base. I don't have anybody like being obnoxious or anything like that. For the most part, I almost never get dislikes on any of my videos, because I just have people that, want to come and watch my stuff, and they enjoy it. And so I think that people do appreciate the hard work that I put in, and a lot of people will comment on my editing and things like that on my videos. So I know that people recognize it. So that's always a good thing. I always enjoy reading those comments where people mention that they recognize the quality of content that I put out, and not just the quantity. Because I take a lot of pride in my editing, because it's so much fun for me to do. It's a whole nother part of artwork that I really like. And I was kind of inspired by a time lapse. There was a time lapse that I watched a really long time ago, and it inspired me to kind of focus on editing, because one of the problems that I was constantly seeing was that I didn't like to watch very many time-lapse videos of people drawing, because they always just used music. They just threw some kind of bland music into the video, and it got boring really quickly. And then I came across those that narrate their time lapses, which is much, much better. It's good because it's nice to get to know the artist and hear what they have to say and things like that. And so that made things better. But then I came across this one time lapse. It was of a painting, I think. I don't even remember the video, but it was shot so wonderfully. It had different camera angles. It added like real time portions, and it was just music. There was nobody talking, but I enjoyed it, even after I kind of got burnt out of all the time lapses that just constantly use music and are a little boring to watch. I was able to really enjoy this one simply because of the editing, and it kind of it inspired me to put more effort into my editing. And honestly, I think I enjoy it more than most people do. Uh, some of the videos that I have, like one of my favorite videos to this day is my very blue portrait video. I I did a lot of really different editing things, and also shooting. The way that I shot that video was totally new to me, and I just kind of went all over the place with the camera and the different angles that I shot while recording that drawing. But I also matched it like really, really well to the music. I think that the music kind of reinforces the emotion that comes across in that portrait. So it's one of my all-time favorite videos of my own, that I really still enjoy. Sometimes I just go back and I watch it again because it's one of my, I think, one of my best edited, but also one of my best shot videos, because you can only edit so well when you have good footage that you took. So it's just it's just one of those videos that sometimes I go back to and just really, really admire the amount of work I put into it. And I would really like to start getting back into editing videos like that. I do have one. Okay, so I have this commission that I completed like 3 weeks ago, and I need to ship it out because the person that bought the commission, he also has his own YouTube channel, but he has no idea what the commission looks like. I need to ship it to him, and he's going to record a video of him opening it so I can see his reaction when he sees it. And then also he's gonna do it like at the beginning of a video series that he does, where he makes recipes out of just 3 ingredients. And so he's gonna kind of plug my channel by opening up the painting in there in that video. And I really look forward to his reaction to the painting, because I love the painting. I did it like 3 weeks ago. I think it took like 8 hours. And I did a bunch of camera stuff when I was recording, when I was painting it. So the editing for it is going to be a lot of fun, because I have a ton of different camera angles to work with, and I don't know if I'm going to do a narration. I might. Yeah, it just depends on if I find music that really, really fits to the editing. But it's going to be one of those videos that I feel like is going to be a lot of fun to edit through. But when I do one of those videos, they can take like 6 or 7 hours just to edit. So it's a whole nother piece of work in itself that I have to get through. But eventually I will get to it, and I look forward to sharing that video. I actually still have 2 time lapses from the Pastel course that I need to edit and share with everybody here, because I haven't yet edited and uploaded the time lapses of project number 4 and project number 5, which are 2 of my favorites from the series, but I just haven't squeezed that in. I will actually today. I probably won't do a narration for project 5. I really should. I'd hate to just do, a boring kind of just music thing, but I might. I already did it with project 3, I think, but I might have to, simply because I'm kind of running out of time. I don't know. Thank you, Anne. Hello, Leontine. Thanks for coming by the live stream. I have very loyal fan base. Well, I've been really enjoying your narrated videos. Leontine. So I'm sure that you're gonna connect with a lot of your subscribers really quickly. And also your tutorials have been really good as well. So that's also a nice way to kind of just connect with the subscribers. They can ask you questions and things like that. And but I mean, yeah, with the amount of subscribers that you have, it could be kind of difficult because you might be getting you get a lot more comments on your videos, and so you don't really have the option to respond to all of them, especially ones that, even just the ones that you would really like to respond to, because you would be spending all day responding to comments and no time drawing and creating. So I'm actually starting to get to that point where I find myself not having the time to respond to some of the nicest comments that I get. I try my best to respond to everybody, but over the past couple months, it's actually gotten a lot harder because I'm spending more and more time creating, less and less time responding to comments. Whereas before, since I had just a few comments on each video, I could kind of just respond to everybody and it wouldn't be a problem. But now it's a bit more difficult. Yeah, so I can imagine that would be pretty hard on your channel. But maybe you could start live streaming, doing live streams and just hanging out with some of them and sketching about, like I'm doing here, just kind of goofing off and practicing. If you go back, Hildy, and look at some of my earlier videos, like they were really nothing to be proud of. I was proud of them in the moment, so maybe you might be being too hard on yourself. You should probably post the videos anyway because you really have no you really have no way of determining whether or not people like your videos. And honestly, some of my least favorited videos, like the ones that I just don't even ever want to watch and almost want to delete them from my channel, people really enjoyed those videos, and it baffles me, and it's always going to baffle me. Some of the artwork that I create I despise completely, but other people really like it, and I just let them like it. There's just some things that I just cannot stand about something that I've created. And I mean, obviously that doesn't happen all the time. There's some pieces, actually it's funny because some of the pieces that I really put a lot of effort into, and they become one of my all-time favorite pieces, nobody watches it, nobody likes it. I mean, a few people do, but then there's the pieces that I just kind of throw together last minute. I don't really like it all that much. It kind of looks like crap. Some of the pieces that I don't even want to share because I'm embarrassed, people love those pieces. And I don't know how many times I've had this conversation with my wife. Like, I don't know why people like this, but I complain to her sometimes, like, how am I supposed to figure out what to draw when people like the things that I despise? They like the drawings that I really don't. I really wish I'd never done, but it happens. So don't sell yourself short. If you have videos just post them and get feedback from people. People will, they'll either love it or hate it, but for the most part, if you're in a good art community and you share it within the community, odds are you're just going to get people being supportive. That's going to help build your confidence. And if you have questions, you can ask the more experienced people your questions. Most likely you'll get positive feedback and good advice and all that fun stuff. And yeah, so if you put in the effort to draw it, you put in the effort to record it, share it, and let people respond to it. Because one of the things that I've really noticed is you can't expect how people respond to it, because you're almost always wrong. Some of the videos that I've made, I put like a ton of effort into. I was like, oh, people are going to love this, because while I'm sitting there watching it and editing it, I'm sitting there with a huge smile on my face, because I'm like, oh yeah, this is the video that I finally have that gets over 100,000 views. I've been on YouTube for 5 years now, and I still have yet to have a single video go over like I don't know, 60,000. That 60,000, that's like a drop in the bucket to most people that do YouTube professionally. But I don't let it discourage me, because all the videos that I thought, oh yeah, this video is gonna be the one. A lot of people are gonna really like it, and they're gonna share it on Facebook, and they're gonna share it over on Twitter and Reddit and all those other sites that people share stuff. And I'm finally gonna get like a bunch of people over to my channel and all that nonsense, and it never happens. It never happens. And then I go over and I watch a video of drawing a perfect circle, and it's got like 4 million views, and it's like I don't even concern myself with it anymore, because it's just a waste of time. Instead, I focus on the lovely people that I have following me on my channel and following my art and supporting me, and I just make the content that they enjoy. And if one of the videos that I make ends up doing really, really well, then I have nobody else to thank other than all the lovely people that are on my channel right now. Because I wouldn't have been able to continue this channel without all you lovely people that support me now, just as small as my channel is still. So oh, get out of here, Anne. Your videos aren't terrible. Yeah. My other camera broke, Leontine, because I was live streaming with it, and I fried it. I had to send it out, and they had to change out the motherboard. So I went and got this camera here that I'm using. Is super cheap. I think I have it's a Canon Legria. I have it in the video description of most of my videos that I live stream, but it's a super cheap camera. It was only like a couple hundred or something like that. It works really well. It has a nice zoom on it. It's great for live streaming. And then my webcam here is just the Logitech C920 or something, which is super cheap. But between those two things, Yeah, I suppose it could get a bit expensive or whatnot. Um, but yeah, it would be great to see you live streaming. It'd be fantastic. I would love to see one of your come over and hang out with you on a live stream or whatnot. That would be fantastic. Um, uh, anyway, and yes, your videos are not terrible. Get out of here with that nonsense. No video that contains your artwork could ever be terrible. Your artwork is fantastic, and so don't say nonsense. Nobody says anything bad about your videos because they contain your lovely artwork, and so don't sell yourself short. You of least people should be selling yourself short. Your artwork is so inspired. I've been wanting to do something kind of with the colors that you use. I've been wanting to do something kind of like that, just because it's so. Every time I look at your work, I'm like, man, that is so awesome. I just love the colors that you choose. You have such a unique choice of like color palette. Me, I do like more natural tones. That's kind of like what I'm drawn to, I guess. So more of the natural colors, more realistic colors. But you have like a fantasy color palette, and it's just like a bright, happy fantasy color palette that just, it's warm and it's inviting. Like if I wanted to, if I owned my own house and I wanted to like paint the walls or dedicate a room that you walk in and you just feel happy when you walk into the room, I would literally ask you for your color choice, because it would just work so perfectly. It's your style is very unique. I haven't come across anything that reminds me of it, and it just looks fantastic. So, yeah. On the Kickstarter supply list, I have Stonehenge vellum paper. I hmm. That seems really odd, because the Stonehenge vellum paper, I don't use that for pastels. Let me go over to my Kickstarter really quick. If that's on the supply list, it's wrong. So I need to check that. Give me a minute. Okay. I have Faber-Castell Square Soft Pastel, Stabilo Carbothello pencils, Clairefontaine pastel matte. No, I don't see. Are you referring to the video? It's not on Kickstarter, so maybe you're referring to the video. The Stonehenge vellum paper. The Stonehenge vellum paper is the paper I used to draw this on. So this is the Stonehenge vellum paper, and what is your question? Why do I choose vellum? Okay, so I need to make a video. I need to make a video soon, but I want to make a video explaining what papers I use, plus papers that I recommend, plus papers that, and what different papers do. Since you're new to the art world and doing artwork and stuff like that. So the paper that I'm working on now, which I hadn't mentioned, The paper that I'm working on right now is the Strathmore Bristol Smooth. I've talked extensively about this paper and why I like it and all that fun stuff. But since you're asking about the Stonehenge Vellum, a lot of people like different papers when they're working with colored pencils. Now, I choose to work with the Stonehenge Vellum paper for colored pencils because it's smooth and it's non-absorbent. Excuse me. A really popular choice with colored pencil is watercolor paper. A lot of people choose to use watercolor paper for their colored pencils because it has a lot of tooth to it and you can do a ton of layering on it. However, I don't like watercolor paper for two reasons. I don't like watercolor paper because for me it's too much texture, and I've said it a million times. I don't like texture. It's a personal preference. It doesn't make you wrong for choosing watercolor paper, so feel free to use that. It's just a personal preference. I think that paper choice is all about personal preference. So always choose a paper that you prefer, not the paper that somebody else recommends. The Vellum. The other reason I don't like watercolor paper is it's absorbent. It's watercolor paper. It absorbs water. It's designed that way. So when you blend out with the odorless paint thinner, you have to wait a little bit longer for it to dry before you can add more colored pencil over top of it. And I don't like to wait for it. So I like the Vellum a bit better because you don't have to wait as long. So it's a kind of not like a huge burden to wait a little bit with the watercolor paper, but yeah, I just prefer the Vellum because it's a bit smoother. The other reason I kind of like the smoother paper with colored pencils, now I'm only referring to colored pencils, nothing else, just colored pencils, is because it's smoother, you can blend out with paint thinner just a little bit easier. It's not a significant amount easier on the Vellum paper than the watercolor paper, but it is, you don't have to put as many layers down of the colored pencil before you can blend out nice and smooth with the paint thinner. So that's kind of the the reason of the Vellum. So good question. I get the question about paper often enough that I really need to make a video, and I will make a video soon because I have a bunch of different papers in my drawer over there that I wanted to do a comparison, like a side-by-side comparison on colored pencils, and why I like the papers I like and why I don't like the papers. But I would always finish up that video with saying paper is a personal choice and you should choose the paper that suits your style and everything. Yeah, so thank you, Abigail. I'm glad you are liking the drawing here. I guess I don't know if I'd say she looks like me, but I guess if you see it, I think she has a much cuter nose than I have. Don't look at my nose. I shouldn't have said that because now you're gonna look at my nose. Have I tried the Canson Magenta paper with colored pencils. I haven't. I don't like the Magenta paper. I don't like the texture pattern of it. The little dots that you see. It drives me nuts. I can't do it. I can't do it. I also don't like UArt paper for colored pencils. So UArt paper it disgusts me with colored pencils. I love it with pastels. I hate it, despise it completely with colored pencils. But some people would like to work on UArt or the sanded type paper like Fisher's one, UArt, and I think there's one other one that I'm missing. But no, sanded paper, just no. With colored pencils, it's definitely 100% not for me. You know what I wish that I had? So if anybody's feeling generous, you could send me like a little jar of graphite powder. I would love some graphite powder. Especially for skin tones. Just so I could get those nice powdery, soft blends. I'm just putting a bunch of graphite on here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my eraser to draw out some of the highlights and just try to blend this and get it nice and smooth. I have a stump over here. Actually, I should use a tissue, but I don't have a tissue with me right now, so I'm just going to use my stump. And get it nice and dark. One of the things, so if you're working with graphite, quick tip with graphite is darken everything. Darken everything and then pull out some highlights, because one of the things, the biggest mistake that I constantly see with people working with graphite is that they're so afraid of the highlights that they end up leaving way too much space white. So they would leave like all of this part white that I've just covered, and then everything that would be really dark is not as dark as it should be, because the whole thing's white and it would just look off. So anything that I'm coloring with graphite, I just cover the whole thing with like a really light layer of graphite, and then I use my erasers to erase the parts that are actually brighter. But yeah, quick random tip. The backside, so the backside of the magenta paper, yeah, the honeycomb texture just makes me want to just burn the paper. Yeah, graphite powder would be really nice to have. I've never used graphite powder before, but getting that like smooth blend on skin and stuff like that, I think it would just be awesome. It just, it would just be like a really cool medium to try out. Yeah, I've always wanted to try out the graphite powder, but I just never. I don't know. After I got into colored pencils, I just did everything in colored pencils, and the idea of working with graphite just kind of faded from my mind. All right. All right. Let's see how soft I can get this blend with a stump. I'm working with really smooth paper. Like I said, this is the Strathmore Bristol smooth paper. So I should be able to get fairly consistent blending and get rid of most of the pencil texture and the kind of grain. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. And I'm just kind of blending out everything that I don't intend to have any, texture. So just the skin, kind of skipping the eyebrows. I haven't quite built up my values enough either, so I still have a lot of layering to do. But how long have I been streaming for? I don't feel like it's been that long. Yeah, I could always do that. Just kind of grab. I have like a 6B pencil that I almost never use, but it's just like a solid stick of graphite. I could just scrape off some of that. That would be a good idea. I guess I didn't think of that. Thanks for that idea, Leontine. See, for skin, this looks really dark, but I can go back over it with the eraser, pick out some of the highlights, and then once I darken up this side of the face a bit more to establish the lighting, the skin won't look as dark. So I think this is what most people starting off with graphite are kind of afraid of, is like it just looking muddy and way too dark. But I always like to kind of go a little bit bold with my shadows and stuff. Yeah, I think I might just finish this up a little bit, just blend it out, and maybe pull out some little highlights with the eraser, and call it a day. I feel like I've been working on this for a little while, but I need to edit some more video. I forgot to mention, so the date for this is not yet set, but I don't know how many of you know of John from The Sharpened Artist. Him and Lisa do the Colored Pencil podcast, and he invited me to be a guest on the podcast. So in the next few weeks, don't worry, I will let you guys know the exact date. But in the next few weeks, I'll be a guest on the Colored Pencil podcast And so I look forward to that, and I'll keep you guys updated on the date and the time. It usually happens on a Saturday, or he said it's recorded on a Saturday. I don't know if it's played live. I asked in the email, but I'm not 100% certain, because he said it's recorded Saturday evenings, and that I don't know if he's located in Texas, but I know that he's located in the United States. So it's going to be like midnight to 2 a.m. this time for me when it does go live, if it is live. But regardless, it will be recorded. So yeah, it's going to be a fun time for sure. I really, really look forward to being on the podcast and hanging out. So again, I'll keep you updated on the exact day and time that that podcast will happen. But yeah, that's something to look forward to. Either tomorrow or Wednesday. I think probably Wednesday. I will have another time-lapse video of Project 4 from the Pastel course finally edited and uploaded, so you guys can enjoy that while you continue to wait for the course itself. But hopefully I will have the course done very, very shortly, and get that out to everybody. Alright, this is looking sketchy as ever. I pushed a bit too hard with the pencil, and I'm still getting like my pencil marks showing through, but this is just for fun anyway, so I don't even care. I was just kind of goofing off with this. I'm just going to take my eraser and try to bring out some of the structure of her face a little bit. Highlight the bridge of her nose. Oh no, I need to soften that highlight a lot. She looks like Michael Jackson. Alright, widen that tip of her nose. There we go, that's a bit better. Yeah, so that's pretty much all I had to share regarding the podcast. I'm very excited to be a part of it. It's so crazy to think of, like, being where I'm at with my art career, I guess I can call it that. And I only considered myself like a professional artist for less than a year now. You know, I've only been doing this full time since last September. I mean, I've been on YouTube for a lot longer, but I was also in college, and yeah, so I've only been doing this full time for 9 months or something like that. No, like, yeah, maybe like 9 months. So it's been so great, just the way things have been working out, and it's been so fun doing this. And yeah, I look forward to doing it for a long time, as long as I can. And yeah, so just going to erase some of this, and maybe add a little bit more value to the right side, darken those shadows a little bit. And I think that's going to be about it. I'm actually going to use this Derwent Ivory Black to add some darker value over here. And if you missed my explanation of my pencils, this Ivory Black I use for like the darkest spots, and it kind of has, it's like a mix. It feels like it could almost be a colored pencil, but it feels like a mix between graphite and charcoal, and it's kind of rough. It's a little rough, feely, but it, gosh, it gets so black. And the one thing that I like about it is that it's a flat black, so you don't have that kind of shiny black that you get with graphite. You kind of have that flatter black that you get with colored pencils and charcoal. So I really like this this Derwent pencil. This is the Derwent Ivory Black. So yeah, you can see it kind of crumbling down here. Just gonna darken in her eyebrows so I don't lose them. And her eyelashes. Let's make those eyelash. Oh no, I broke it. I broke it. Where'd it go? Oh well. I guess I had the tip of it sharpened a bit too much. Make her eyelashes nice and thick. I'll probably work on this or toy around with it throughout the week anytime I get like a spare moment. But otherwise, I'll probably just continue playing with it during next week's live stream, since I don't really have anything planned for the next couple weeks. So, yeah. Probably just play around with this drawing, because I've been having fun with it. It's fun. Let's see here. Let me grab my 6B again. This isn't quite as dark as I'd like it to be. I feel like her nose is a bit too pointy, like a bit too sharp. So I need to soften that up a little bit. Anyways, do you guys have any last minute questions or anything? Is the Derwent Ivory Black from Drawing set? No, I actually I don't know. I bought it as an individual pencil. I bought all of my graphite pencils just like one individual. I never bought a set of them. Oh, that's a good question, Leontine. So fortunately for me, since I live in Poland, it's very cheap to live here, so I can be a professional artist and make a lot less than minimum wage, and be okay. It's not extravagant by any means, but it's going up each month as I get more and more patrons. You gotta have good money management, and the best advice is that I could say as far as like maintaining professional, like being a professional artist and then living on your own, is marry somebody that will support your work. Because I have a very amazing wife that loves my artwork, supports my work, supports my dream, and she goes to work every day to help pay for things, and I do everything that I can to make enough money to pay for things. Hopefully, I've told her this, and I've mentioned it a few times on the live stream. I hope that in the future I can make enough money being a professional artist that I can just I can make enough to where she doesn't have to work, and then she can just be my assistant, and I can teach her how to edit videos, and we can edit videos together. And yeah, I don't know how fond of that idea she is, but I think that she would like to not have to work, and I would like for her not to have to work, just because I'd be able to spend more time with her. But as far as income goes, so I get enough. I make enough to pay for what I need to pay for, and then just a tiny bit extra so that my bank account grows like minusculely each month. But I wouldn't be able to do that at all if I didn't live in Poland, for one, and two, I didn't have the most amazing wife ever. So I would not live on my own as a professional artist. I'd have to have a full-time job doing something else if I still lived in the United States, or I didn't have my lovely wife that supports my work. All right, I think I'm going to call it a day. I could probably sit here and blend this out for the rest of the day, but it's about 1 p.m. here, so I have plenty of time to get more work done and all that fun stuff. More video editing to get onto. I want to thank everybody that came to live stream today. Always enjoy hanging out. It's so much fun, and I almost look forward to it. I almost look forward to a chance where I could maybe do 2 live streams a week again. Once the course is done, I'll have so much weight lifted off my shoulders once I have everything ready to go and everybody has their course and my website's up and people can just go over there and buy it and I won't have to do anything. Yeah, I really, really look forward to getting to that moment. It's gonna be a few weeks before I get there, but once I do, I definitely intend to make more videos, put more videos out on YouTube, and I also kind of want to do, 2 live stream tutorials a week over on Patreon. That's what I'd like to do, because a lot of like the financial support, since you brought that up, really, really comes from building a support base over on Patreon. And I want to be able to offer more. So I want to do a live stream tutorial of pastels and a live stream tutorial of colored pencils, like once one of those videos every week. So like maybe on a Wednesday and then continue the Friday live streams, because on Friday I do the colored pencil tutorial live stream over on Patreon. But I would love to add a pastel tutorial as well each week. But I don't know, I have so many ideas, and the problem is I still only have 24 hours in a day, and I enjoy what I do so much that I feel like I could almost just do it all day. But sometimes I get burnt out doing that. Yeah, we should definitely get some Honest Fan Club t-shirts going. I need to convince her to, she did open up another YouTube channel kind of thing. No videos or anything, but she does officially have the YouTube channel Mrs. Unmask Art. Actually, I think I'm the only person subscribed to it, but let me see if I can find it really quick. Let me just open up another link. I want to see if I can find it. I think I made her a logo and everything. I can't remember though. I gotta find it. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. I swear she has the name, and I swear I subscribed to it. Let me see. Maybe there's not a period. I'm looking. I'm looking. If I find it, I'm going to put it in the chat. Okay, I don't see it, but I was telling her that she needs to do that because she makes earrings out of clay, and she also draws, and I think it'd be kind of fun. Oh yes, Hildy, make sure to upload a video. I want to see it. So if you share it on Facebook, tag me in it. I'd love to see it and give you some feedback. And share it in the Legria Fine Art group for sure. A lot of people will gladly support you in that group and be encouraging. But anyways, I'm gonna get off here for real now. Okay, you guys have been great. I love chatting with you, and I will see you all next week. Take care. Peace.